If you've got a set of the Juintech hydraulic calipers like this, and you've been riding on them for a while and stopping for a while, there's a chance you might need to replace your brake pads. I've been really happy with these hydraulic calipers. For those that aren't familiar with them, this is not an install video, but just a quick overview on how they work. You see, there was this problem early on with e-bikes where if you wanted to upgrade the stock mechanical brakes, it was a little hard to do while keeping the brake switches up on the handlebars intact, because most bicycle brakes aren't made for that. So I was trying to think of a way to upgrade e-bikes with mechanical calipers where you have a steel line that goes somewhere along the bike all the way up to the handlebars, but without losing the brake cutoff. And the solution turned out to be these. They actually have fluid in the caliper like a hydraulic brake, but you can see that there's not a hydraulic line that goes up to the handlebars. And you install this in exchange for the stock caliper. Because the installation is so easy and the brakes work really well, we have sold literally thousands of them, which means that some of you may have had these brakes for a year, 2 years, maybe even longer, and it might be time to replace your pads. When these brakes are activated, the cable goes through this, pulls on this guy right here, and if you look closely, it takes these two pads right here and squeezes them together onto your rotor. Although the rotors do actually wear down, the pads are the #1 wear item. The brake pad out of the rotor looks like this. Grab some calipers and see how thick it is on a brand new pad. And it looks like 0.0875 inches, or about 2.2 millimeters. If you find that these pads are wearing all the way down, getting close to the metal, it's time to replace them. If you start hitting metal on metal, not only is that going to be really noisy and not stop very well, that could potentially wear out your rotor, which is going to be a more expensive and a little bit more time consuming of a repair. One of the things I like about the Juintech brakes is that they are really easy to maintain. And for replacing the pads, we can actually leave the caliper on the bike. You can see that there is a single retaining pin right here that runs through both of the pads and this little spring. The spring is what spreads the pads apart so they're not dragging on the rotor. All we need to do is stick a tool in from the opposite side of the wheel and unscrew this retaining pin. Now in other brakes, this may be a cotter pin that you've got to bend and pull in and out. I like the fact that they use a nice removable bolt here instead, and it's out. With the retaining pin out, we can actually just grab these. Maybe a little easier if you use some needle nose pliers, but we can actually just grab these with our fingers and pull them straight out. Now these aren't worn down very much. This bike hasn't been ridden too much, so these are actually good. We can put these back in. Now if the pads are worn down, you may have used this adjustment knob on the side to keep things tuned up, bringing the pads in closer together. So you may have to adjust this back outward so the pistons move out and give you enough space to put the new pads in. Grab your new set of pads, pop them in, and put back in the retaining pin. Once your new pads are in, you're going to want to readjust this so the brakes grab nice and firm, but they don't drag on the rotor under normal riding. Anybody can do it as long as you have a 3mm hex head wrench. And those pads are in stock at boltonebikes.com. Now, if you're wondering why I haven't been riding this particular bike and showing you how much better it stops with new pads, well, that might be because there's a few pieces missing. There's no display, no throttle, our motor controller is missing, but there's a good reason for that. This is, again, a Hemiway bike, probably one of the more common bikes I get requests for as far as a motor controller upgrade. That's why the parts are missing, because we've removed them because we are working on an upgrade kit. I don't have any promises on a lead time, 750 watts to over 1500 watts if you want more power. Stay tuned, that will probably be something for 2022. And if you made it through this video watching me replace pads on Juintech hydraulic calipers, but you don't actually have them, they work on almost any e-bike with mechanical disc brakes. It's $149 for the set. It's something you can do yourself. Now, I do have multiple videos on installing these on not only the Hemiway bike, but Rad Power bikes and others. If you want to know what it takes to get these installed, you can check out that video right here. And don't forget, if you're anywhere near Grass Valley, California, we're right next to the Nevada County Airport. Just follow the signs to Bolton e-bikes.